I can count on one hand how many apps were actually targeting the older demographic.
It's hard to be an app for everybody. Let's make a cut and focus on people over 40.
I would call it a little bit the forgotten demographic.
They just don't want to basically have it like written on the forehand. They just want to meet people, have a good time.
Okay, now I've hit the benchmark, let's say. And from here, it basically keeps growing. And
Welcome to Let's Talk Ads. We're here to push your growth, marketing tips, fun and chats. Tune in, let's rock the show.
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Ads. My name is Andre. I'm the CEO of Admiral Media, an award-winning performance marketing agency, and I'm interviewing a lot of interesting guests on my podcast, Let's Talk Ads. Today, I've got Lukas. Lukas once failed with a dating app, but succeeded even better with a very big social app called Meet5. Lukas, welcome to Let's Talk Ads. I'm really curious to learn more about it. Happy to have you here.
Hi Andre. Thanks for having me.
Can you tell us what is Meet5 and what's the difference to a dating app that you've maybe failed before?
Yes, thank you. Yep, Meet5 is Europe's largest social community app, especially for people over 40 years old. And basically on our app, we are focusing on real life activities in small groups. This can be anything what you would also do with your friends, like going out for dinner, go to hikes, bowling, or whatever. And basically, unlike typical social media, our goal is to get the people off screen and into real life as soon as possible. And with Meet5, basically big goal is to combat loneliness, because we make it with our platform super safe and easy for people to meet new friends. Yeah, basically the big change from being a dating app was that we just positioned ourselves differently. So when we started off as a dating app named Go Crush, our goal was already that people meet in groups. So it was always 3 men or 3 women, 3 men, 3 women, or it was 6 men, 6 women, which met, but everybody kind of had dating on the head. And then basically within the years, we changed positioning, pivoted and said, okay, people don't want us to be a dating app. People want, Go Crush to be Meet5 and want, Meet5 just to bring people together to an activity and just have a good time.
Okay, interesting. But you mentioned it's like 40 years old and above, right? So you call them best agers. Is that correct?
Yeah, basically, generation of baby boomers, I'd say. Average age is about 55.
Wow.
And
Okay.
average age, yes. And basically, this is just an age group where people have a lot of changes in their life. So maybe people retire, maybe people just deprioritize work because they say, okay, I did my career, now it's ready, now I'm ready to live my life. Kids out of the house, a lot of cases. Sometimes the partner dies. So there's a lot of reasons people have changes in basically this phase of life. And if you're basically this age, it's extremely hard to get to know people. When you're younger, like when you're a student, after you're a student, you're like, if you're lonely in a student, after university, you go working in a company or whatever, then you meet your colleagues, or you basically create a family, then you have your wife and your kids. So basically in every other life phase, basically after you may be lonely, the next phase will come, which will support you to get out of the loneliness. But basically with the age group 50 plus, 55 plus, it's extremely hard to come out of this situation. And that's why Meet5 is so popular and helps people so easy.
Yeah, interesting. You're not in this, let's say, forced socializing anymore, right? At a certain age, once you've left the company and you don't go to work every day and meet your colleagues and stuff, then you're suddenly sitting at home and, okay, what do you do now, right? It's probably difficult to find, let's say, peers in my age group that I get along with when I'm out of the work environment, I guess. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, super hard. I mean, it used to be clubs in Germany, especially. Like you have thousands of clubs in Germany, but like this club culture of people being in a gardening club or people being in a bowling club, football club, it's just like decreasing a lot. And then the other thing in Germany was people used to like meet in pubs. But also this like pub culture is kind of like dying. So it's extremely hard for people to actually, find
Socialize.
people, socialize, and have a good time. Yeah.
Interesting. You mentioned Germany, so I guess your core market is Germany as well then.
Yes, and so we've launched Meet5 basically 2017 in Germany, then pivoted 2019, but then basically scaled all Meet5 all over Germany, have critical mass in all cities around Germany, and then 2023 brought Meet5 also to Benelux. Also have like very lively communities everywhere in Benelux, and now we're scaling Meet5 to France and USA.
Oh, okay. You're already crossing the borders now. Interesting. How big is Meet5?
So in total, we have 2 million registered users, over 2 million, about 500,000 active users, with 60 people.
Interesting. I mean, the demographics are pretty clear, right? In all civilized Western country, your demographic is growing while the youth is shrinking. So probably you are just by the demographics itself in a growing market, right? So how do you promote the app? I would assume I have a long dating app history, but we were always addressing like 18 plus, let's say, right? How is that for you in terms of advertising? Do you think there's a big difference between classic dating apps and your best Agers target group? Is it? I guess channels are the same: Facebook, Google, Agers. But in terms of communication, in terms of approach, in bidding strategies or whatever, do you see any differences from your experience?
Yeah, first of all, channels are the same. I think you just reach the ceiling a little quicker, maybe, of market saturation. But yeah, basically, what works for us is extremely good. I mean, it's nothing special. User-generated content. We have a very good community, which really loves the app and support. So basically, we film everything, or most of the videos, with our own community. And yeah, they just make very authentic videos of them making sketches, talking some about the activities, what happened, and telling stories. And that just works extremely good on Meta, on Google, Pinterest a little bit, Twitter a little bit, or X a little bit. So yeah, basically the classic channels.
Okay, not a big difference. So it's really rather the communication and what you're using in visuals and stuff like that, probably, right? You started with Go Crush, it was called, right? This was a classic traditional dating app, I assume. But you figured, okay, I'm not able to compete in a very saturated dating app market, I guess. Let's say, how did you realize, okay, this is not going to work, we need to shift somehow? Like, was there a specific problem that you identified and said, okay, we need to change that in the approach? Or what led to changing the entire concept?
So yeah, basically, Go Crush, also the idea of Go Crush was not super classic. It was more a group activity dating app. So it was always, we bring 6 people to a table. Everybody has a dating motivation. And the concept itself just, it didn't really fly at all. But the problem was mostly the target group. So obviously we wanted to get viral over campuses and over students, and wanted to, basically become the next big dating app. Just focusing on group activities, because classic dating apps are super superficial, and it takes a lot of time chatting with people, and in the end you never meet up. This classic dating brings up a lot of problems. But just our target group wasn't working. That didn't like the concept. So students were, for us, extremely unreliable. So they signed up for activities but never showed up. And they didn't bring any content to our platform. That was the other thing. So our platform needs user-generated content. The content we need is activities, good activities. and just students didn't create any activities. So basically it was us as a platform creating those activities. Then we've got some students who signed up and they never showed up. So it just didn't work. And then we were getting quite lucky, and the media kind of picked up the topic, local media around like Frankfurt, Germany. So we covered like in 3 or 4 big newspapers. And then we got the first cohort of people over 40 in there. And we basically just saw in the data right away, those people actually go to activities. Those people show up, they create good activities, and they love the app, and they kind of have the need to use such an app. And then it was just like talking to people. So I went myself to over 100 activities. Most of the cases with people in their 40s and 50s, so way older than I was. And people just told me, what they liked about the app, what they didn't like. And most of them said, like, I don't like that to be positioned as a dating app. So basically we looked at all the data we had and just saw basically all our cohorts, retention, conversion rate, all our cohorts are better. And at one point we said, okay, it's hard to be an app for everybody. Let's make a cut and focus on people over 40. And this really changed the game for us.
Interesting. I would call it a little bit the forgotten demographic, because to be honest, I'm in the advertising and app business since many years now. And I can count on one hand how many apps were actually targeting the older demographic. One of them was a brain training app, for example, and another one was a medical app. But apart from those two, I think everyone was just aiming for 18 plus or even younger if it's games and stuff, right? So how do you see your competition in that space? Is it very saturated? Is it highly competitive? How do you see that?
It's not super competitive. So in Germany, we have like one app which kind of has a similar concept. Then obviously your Facebook group. So especially our target group is really active in Facebook group. So basically every town and suburb has its Facebook group with like kind of hobbies. But people are super unhappy with those Facebook groups because there's a lot of idiots hanging around. People like create activity there. People are super unreliable. It's not fun for people to create stuff on Facebook groups. But people are still quite active. And basically, I would say Facebook groups is quite a good competition. And those like neighborhood communities. So in US, it's next door. In Germany, nebenan.de. That kind of competition. But it's like it's hard to have like a lot of lively activities there because it's people have to be so close. It's very hard to like actually build critical mass for them of people going to all kinds of activities. So no, I would say market is not super saturated.
Interesting. You mentioned you interviewed a little bit the people that went to activities when you also attended, and they said like they don't want to be framed to be in a dating context at this activity, right? Was there a difference between men and women? Like were men also saying that? Because my experience with dating apps is always an insane load of men really want to date, and women are like very selective, obviously, right? How is that on your platform?
Yeah, so first of all, our concept is more popular for women. So if you look at our activities, we have about 66% women and 34% men attending those activities. It's because men usually are more focused on dating, and women are more one-to-one. It's easier for them. They don't have the competition of other men being funnier or being better or look better, whatever. They can basically just
shine
and be there. But basically in a social group, it's way more difficult to shine because
there's always someone who looks better, who is stronger, has a nicer
but women really love the concept because they're just like they're not like as much into dating. So most of those women, they would be happy to to find a partner, but they just don't want to basically have it like written on the forehand. They just want to meet people, have a good time, and whenever somebody comes along, then they're happy. But yeah, no pressure.
Understand. Let's talk about your growth. Like, how did you reach this number of users? Like, was there let's say, I mean, when you have like group activities and stuff, I guess there's some virality going on, that I'm inviting my 3 best friends or something, to like, women have maybe their best friends and they bring one or two girlfriends to one of the group activities, vice versa. Is that a big lever for you, like viral factor, or is everything paid, or is it influencers? Like, what is working for your demographic and your specific use case?
It depends on the stage where a region is. So basically, when we launch a new region, obviously there's no virality. So basically what we do is also always, we try to go to neighborhood regions, so it's easier for us to build critical mass there. And then we normally start off with paid ads, just performance marketing. But we're not like spending crazy amounts. So we're kind of spending, I would say, a very healthy amount to get the early adapters. And with this early adapters, we really try to bring them, to make them to Meet5 fans. So we try to motivate them to create content on the platform and so on. And once we basically have those content creators on the platform in the region, it gets easier, because the people who create good content, normally they share the content with their friends and they bring their people in, and then basically organic share is growing and growing. But in the beginning, there's nearly no organic share at all. And then with the years of a community, of a region, organic share is increasing by a lot.
So you would say, like, the user generated content that people are creating on your platform is vital to actually gain traction within a certain audience in a region.
To get the users of the platform is quite easy. But to get the users hooked and active, it's all about good content. It's about really like motivated people to create really good activities.
Can you give me an example what activity is? Like,
so we do it quite simple. So we have 8 categories. Our categories, the most popular category is, in summertime it's outdoor. In wintertime it's like music and dance. So people actually like to do stuff which kind of gives them a feeling to be young again, I'd say. People on our platform do cooler stuff than their kids. So they actually like going to wild parties, they're going to crazy hikes, and so on. And then it's like a good activity is somebody really like organizes the activity, makes a good description, really has a plan on what to do. And then you have like, I would say, middle good activities is just somebody saying, okay, let's go out to eat Italian food. No description, just like, let's eat Italian food. There's also content, but it's like not the best content out there. Good content is really people who make a really good plan and think of special activities. And if you'll basically scroll through our feed of activities to see this activity and say, wow, I didn't know I could do this. This is really cool. I want to try it out. I want to meet those people. And I don't know, go skydiving or whatever.
Understand. And is that then content that you would use in the ads and creatives? Is that like, hey, eating Italian food with 4 other people? Is that you join Meet5, or how do you communicate the benefits of your app, and how do you get people hooked into it?
Yeah, so basically it's then mostly our users. So we do like casting calls every once in a while. Yeah, so we create activity ourselves into the platform, which basically the whole of Germany is seeing those like casting activity, and then basically users who basically want to stand in front of the camera, wants to give us the rights to use their face, basically attend, and then we talk to them, we make a video call with them, and if we like them, if they're good in talking, if they're authentic, then we'll invite them to the office and we do shooting. Mostly we do the shootings basically just with them. So we go to them with a restaurant, we go to the park, or like somewhere in the city, and they just basically selfie videos, because it's quite tough to get all the people from an activity to give you thumbs up to use basically the ads, to the materials for ads. So it's way easier to just like have one person, but those persons just like tell stories about the activities, like what activities they went to, and
Okay.
in the end, always obviously a call to action and so on. I
So
mean,
real
we're
testimonial
producing like,
users. Okay.
yeah, it's our users which do most of those ads, but we're just creating like assets every week. So we have quite a good production team in house, creating new assets like every week with all kinds of different hooks. Sometimes we're just like trying to give the people the feeling, hey, with Meet5, it's super easy to meet people. Sometimes it's more about, hey, we're combating loneliness, and if you're lonely with Meet5, you're not lonely anymore. And the next time it's with Meet5, you're feeling super young again. And next time it's with Meet5, you can go eat out Italian food. And so we're trying all kinds of hooks, and the ones who are going good in Meta and Google, we'll try different variants of those ones, and then push them.
And how much, I mean, you are the founder of Meet5, right? How much are you involved in the performance marketing activities still? Like, how big is the team in general in Meet5?
So in general, we're like 60 people, and performance marketing is 8 people now.
Oh, wow. Quite.
So basically, I'm not super involved. I have a CMO, Lars. He's super good in ads, very experienced, and he basically manages this team. And I normally just like bringing up some crazy ideas I had out of the shower and think like, try this ad, and then they will create an asset and we'll give it a test.
Okay, but you are not like part of the ads, like that you record yourself, like, and tell your story or these kind of things.
Sometimes I am. So we're also doing like founders generated content. It goes quite good, but especially I would say I'm lucky. My co-founder goes way better in Meta and Google. So the team tested like me against Kai, my co-founder, like a lot of times, and always my co-founder is way better. Basically,
Interesting.
cost per and stuff. So mostly team is using him as a founder to create content. But founders created content works quite good, especially as just like my co-founder just speaking up and talking about why we founded the app and that we have the goal to combat loneliness, and it's a little emotional. It goes quite good, yeah.
You mentioned, I mean, you have a social app, right? And you mentioned you need to reach a certain critical mass when you launch region until some kind of virality kicks in. Do you know what exactly the critical mass is for your app in a certain region? How do you define that? Like, when do you realize, okay, now I've hit the benchmark, let's say, and from here it basically keeps growing, and I can change my marketing strategy a little bit?
I mean, we're mostly looking at 2 KPIs. It's basically how many unique people joined the activity and how many unique people created an activity.
Okay.
Super simple, and it obviously depends a little bit on the size of the region. But if we have like 100 people joining activities per week, it's kind of good already. It gets a little virality. So 100 people joining activities means that like an average 2 activities per day. Not super. I mean, we're focusing on small groups. So our group size of an activity is normally like 4 to 10 people. And like 100 joins is then like 10 activity, like 10 to 15 activities. So like 2 per day. And that's also already kind of enough to kind of expand our spend on performance marketing, but also to kind of get more organics in.
What's your biggest acquisition channel? I guess Meta.
it always switches a little bit. At the moment, it's Google. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's normal. I mean, I think at the moment it's 50 Google, 30 Meta, and then like 20% others. But it always like changes monthly. So we always adapt on all
the
kinds
results.
of things which happen on the results. Yeah.
What is your main target KPI? Is it like I mean, I would assume your business model is a subscription business, or is it
Yes.
something else?
The business model is 98% is subscriptions. About 2% is like B2B partnerships with companies who can create activities on our platform. And yes, so basically the goal is at the moment, it's not basically the subscription, because it's a little like too much down funnel. So our goal is for people to join activity, because basically joining activity is a happy moment for people. It's a moment where we see people are actually super hooked. So when somebody actually joins an activity, they will stay with Meet5. 80% of those people will stay with Meet5 for the next 6 months.
Makes sense.
And we see extremely high correlation of people joining activities and people going to Meet5 Premium after a while. So focuses on people joining. And also we have way more join events happening. So it's just way more data for the algorithm to work.
There's also a very different approach to dating apps, where you basically have to pay before you can meet anyone, right? You are actually connecting people before you ask them to pay for it. This is what I hear.
Yeah. I mean, basically we're freemium, but everything around the activities is for free. So we never want people to pay to create content on the platform, because content is good for us. And people joining activities also content, because people decide basically to join the activity. They have their face hooked to the activity, and good people who join activities bring other people to join activities again. So everybody who brings good content to the platform will not be limited. So because that's super positive. Yeah.
But it's open to also create like kind of speed dating activities and these kind of things, right? Is that a heavy factor in the app still, or because you mentioned at the beginning that dating wasn't that high of a demand from the users? Has that changed, or?
So we're very strict with community health, and so speed dating activities are only allowed with like some criteria, and also like all kinds of like events which has like dating hooked to the event title. Whatever is also not allowed. You're not allowed to go to sauna or whatever.
Okay.
We're extremely strict with content, so people should really not have the feeling we're dating it when scrolling through the activities.
Yeah, I get it.
So we're really leading hundreds of activities every day, because we say, okay, this could harm community, and that's better leave it. I think we have like a guideline of like, I don't know, like 20, 25 bullets for people to read through which activities are allowed and which are not allowed. And super, extremely important. Those.
I get it. Do you have to? I know it also from all the dating apps I've worked with, either as a employee back then in Nabu, or when I have them as clients in Admiral Media. Do you fight a lot against fake profiles and spam from dating apps, trying to lure people away from the platform to whatever payment services? Is it a big topic?
Very big topic. Very big topic, super annoying topic, because it just takes a lot of resources to get rid of those profiles. So yeah, we have a team for that. And actually most of the people, it's like those like African dating scammers, which are Roman scam. So especially like our target group is interesting for them, because a lot of people fall for this kind of scam. So they're pretending, they're uploading fake pictures, pretending to be a very good looking and rich man, and then jumping on private chats with women, and trying to switch to WhatsApp as quick as possible, and then manipulating them, and basically after a few weeks, having like a crazy reason why they need a lot of money very very fast. I think that's the biggest scam on our platform.
Really?
But we are.
That.
I mean,
okay.
Just that's basically the motivation. It's not other dating apps coming to Meet5 to acquire users. It's mostly those like love scammers, which try to do love scams on the platform. And we're having like, we're using AI, we're using face recognition, we're using all kinds of tools, content moderation tools, to really get those users off our platform as soon as possible. And I think we're pretty good at it. So we're getting, I would say 98% of those users from the platform within 1 or 2 hours. But the thing is, it's always like, it's a game. Like, they're getting better in creating those profiles, and we're getting better in catching them. So,
okay, interesting. From the user acquisition side, once you've reached a certain threshold in activities, do you reduce your paid media activities? Do you pause it entirely in certain regions at some point to focus on other regions? How is your growth strategy here?
we switched to national marketing at one point. So first of all, we really want to keep track that we'll have enough users coming in, for example, in Hamburg or Berlin. And then after some time, we just say, okay, we have critical mass. We don't really care if Berlin will get 1,000 new users next month or 800. Then we can switch to national marketing. So basically in Germany, we made national marketing for a year already, or for maybe like 1.5 years. In Benelux, we're also on basic national marketing. And then it's just like every month deciding on how much we spend. We have peak months of January and July, August, where we mostly spend the most.
Okay, but do you reduce paid activities at some point, or do you keep the level up and keep growing in paid activities?
As long as our KPIs look good and we have a positive ROAS, we're spending more. But it's at some point you're reaching a ceiling with performance marketing, and it's getting super expensive to get the next user in. And at the moment, like it's starting to that we're looking for new channels. So we just did the first TV campaign this month. So we worked like small channels in Germany. Had like, for us it was a big campaign. If you would look at other TV campaigns, I would say an average size campaign. But just trying out new channels, find new ways to basically also do brand marketing. Performance marketing is like reaching ceilings for us, kind of.
I'm surprised because the demographic should be really big, especially on Meta with 2 million users. But different topic. When you let's have a talk after the recording. Also about the new channels, I might have 1 or 2 ideas how I could help you here. Do you leverage CRM in to some extent? Like, I guess many people sign up and drop off at some point if they don't join activities. Do you leverage this in a highly professional manner already, or would you say, hey, there's still a lot of room for improvement on our side? Others are submitting this. How do you see that?
So we're working on our CRM for a few years now, and I would say it's quite good, but it obviously has lots of room for improvement. But we're having all kinds of. I think we have like 50, 60 automated campaigns going on for people which get triggered after you joined your first activity or after you created your first activity to get you hooked to create the next activity. We have all kinds of like onboarding campaigns for different groups of people. So we have quite a lot going on there. But I think there's lots and lots of room for improvement. We have quite good team. 2 full-time people working on the CRM at the moment.
All right. I would call this a professional setup. Okay. You mentioned as long as you're achieving back to Facebook again. I just had another thought. At the beginning, you mentioned like you try to get users into activities and then you look at the ROAS at the end of the day, right? Now you mentioned yes, we are achieving the ROAS, we keep scaling the spend. What type of ROAS are you looking at, and how do you make this budget decision when actually the activities need to happen first before the majority of users gets hooked into a payment? What's your approach here?
It depends on region on how fast we get achieve the ROAS. So in the regions where we have the most users and a super livelihood community with a lot of activities, a big variety of activities, there we normally are looking for like 5 to 6x ROAS, but we'll only achieve it after a few months.
6-month ROAS is probably something that you're looking into. Is that where you want to achieve like 500?
Basically, we're trying. Obviously, it's in the thing. Also a topic of cash, because we don't have a ROAS within like 1 or 2 months. It takes some time to build communities. We have very good retention of our premium subscribers, and that just takes time. And then it's a decision of how does our cash look like, and how much can we spend, and how high do basically our joins cost per join or cost per joining activity is basically getting. But basically we will decide. I mean, we have a yearly plan on scaling up our marketing in all the regions, and then we're looking month for month and just changing stuff a little bit and adapting.
Understand. So your proxy event is this join activity, and you anticipate that the ROAS month 5 or whatever will be 5x if a certain CAC has been achieved, right?
Yep.
And then when you reach, let's say let's go back to the ROAS. The question, when you have like a day 1 ROAS, day 7 ROAS or something, you see a certain number. Do you then keep increasing the meta spend? Let's assume cash flow is solved, funding is there, whatever. But if you would see like day 7 ROAS X, then you just pump money on the channel, or what's your strategy?
I mean, we kind of have a yearly plan on how to spend our marketing money, and we kind of trying to stick to that. And normally we're kind of within our goal of CAC, and we don't do like crazy changes then.
Okay, understand. How we haven't used you used the word AI at least once, but let's dive a little bit deeper into this. Are you using AI for content creation, for in-app activities whatsoever? What's your take on this?
So, I mean, we're using AI as a company. All our employees are using AI several times a day. Within the app, it's quite limited so far. So we're having like an AI bot creating good activities. So basically, in the beginning, when we don't have enough critical mass and enough people creating activities, we as a platform will create the first good activities, and we basically have an AI bot understanding which kind of users are using the app in the region, and then this bot will create good activities in this region and will moderate them. In the app itself, there's at the moment not really AI features. We're gonna bring some AI features to make good descriptions of activities for people, to bring good ideas to people. But yeah, I mean, our concept is real life activities, and authentic. It should like be authentic content, and yeah, so it's never going to be super AI heavy, because we just have this focus on real people and real life, and it maybe wouldn't be too authentic to have AI everywhere in the product.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. end goal of the company? Exit at some point, profit generating engine. Where do you see Meet5 in 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, we want to bring Meet5 first of all around the world. I think there's a lot of markets which are waiting for Meet5, and so we want to scale, and then let's see what time brings. I'm always saying, like, me and my co-founder, we're from Frankfurt, so obviously our dream is to go to the Frankfurt Stock Exchange and ring the bell at one point. But let's see what time brings. But yeah, we are like funded business. We have a VC on board, so basically we have to exit at some point.
Okay, understood. All right. Thank you, Lukas. This was a very interesting talk. I haven't met many founders of apps that are targeting this specific demographic. So this was very insightful for me. Thanks for sharing and being so in the talk. I can only wish you all the best with your growth trajectory. To the audience, if you guys have comments, questions, you're always welcome to reach out to Lukas or me, or put a comment on YouTube or wherever you listen or read or hear the podcast. And that was it. Thank you, Lukas. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Andre. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
We're here to boost your growth, marketing tips, fun and chats.